Hello, Dev.Play. Hi, everyone. Welcome you on Meal Game session, which will be actually a session about the equity finding of your game dev studios. I will tell a bit what will be in the agenda of our presentation and go smoothly to our topic. First of all, I will tell about all the Milgram concepts in the 4 slides. And then I will talk a bit about the whole idea of the equity funding, what is behind of that, what type of the investors you can have as a game dev studios, and what are the possible ways or the roadmap for getting in such a model of financing your business. So first part will be on my side, and the second part will be announced by my colleague Albert Tromczynski from INC Group, who will share with you some success case about the Drago Entertainment company, which took place in Poland, which is quite huge success when it comes to their last game. And actually this is also related to the equity funding, because it was the way how this studio was actually scaled up. So do not take so many times. I will share with you my presentation. So welcome once again everyone that we already know, and for those of you that we didn't have a chance to meet in Bucharest or even on the video calls. So let's begin. Okay, so let's start our main topic for today. It's equity funding as a first step of scoping up your indie studio. Few words, like really quick one about the founders of the Mill Games and the whole idea why we are here and why we are focused only on the Romanian game dev market. So first few words about the founders. There are two founders of the Mill Games, the Movie Games company, which is a Warsaw-based publisher and producers of the few successful games, and also the company which is listed on the new Connect market right now. And the second, let's say, co-founder of the Mill Games, it's a ENC group. It's a capital group that is helping small and medium company in Poland and in Romania, as well as a authorized advisor on the new Connect market, and also helping them with gaining the funds for their business ideas. So this is like the whole concept of the Mill Games and the founders. So this is also the reason why we are talking today about the equity funding. So going quite quickly to our business model, how we are acting on the Romanian game dev market, it's in general two ways that we can cooperate with you. The first one, it's a project funding way. It's as a regular publisher or as a passive investor in your projects. Additional, what we have right now in our packet as a additional services is they are the service of the porting of the games, business development, some kind of the marketing support for your games, and also bringing like some quite interesting project for the work for hire for some of the Romanian studios. And the second way that we can cooperate, and it's also linked with our main topic today, it's a equity funding. So in general, there we have actually three models of equity funding that we can support you. The first one, it's to invest in your already established company with some track record that you have as a equity investor. The second one, it's to helping the startups to establish a company, also invest in them. But what is really important here to mention, that the teams that are willing to create this the startup needs to have a really good background in the industry and some track record, maybe not in this company, but for sure in some other companies. So this is quite important. And the third model that we are actually acting right now, it's the model where we can help you to bring the IP to the new company, and also help you with assuring financing for those IPs, and act there as a publisher, and not only, and help you to drain more cash to the companies. So in general, this is how we are acting. And then I will quickly go to the two projects that we are already supporting from the last year. The first of the project that we are right now working on, it's a Fearland project from the Headbite studio, which is the real-time thief tactic game plays in the near future. That's where the player run the war between himself and the evil corporation called Chimera. And the second game that we are supporting, it's the Civitatem from the LW games, which is the medieval city builder, where you can help your villagers raise new settlements in the dangerous lands by making use of their skills and available world resources. So going quickly to the equity finding at the first step of scoping up your indie game, we will answer the question, what actually is the equity financing? In general, it's selling a tiny part, maybe not the tiny in the case of your business, for a cash investment from the investor side. Why you need it, or why is it needed sometimes? The answer is really easy, that those money can help you to accelerate your company grow. And this is the main aim here about this method of financing your studio. Here you can see the financing roadmap, when you can see the early stages of the idea that you have, which is called pre-incubation period of time. Then you are going up to the seed financing round, which is placed in the incubation, and then after some of the time, in general, it should take from 1 to 10 to 2 years. You on your company, it's going into early growth stage, where you can build your incomes as a company, and grow maturity as a normal regular big company. And at the end, there are 3 different ways to exit for investors, that in the meantime you can ask for help, for support your project, your company. There are the 3 ways. So the first way of the exit of this kind of the model, it's initial public offer, where your company shares are available for the general public audience. The second one, it's a acquisition from, let's say, the third party company, which is maybe bigger, maybe it's looking for a similar team to expand their own business. So it is the second way. And the third way, you can always stay private, but of course you need to share some profits in the dividends that you are earning from the money that you took from the investors. So below you can see also on each stage who can be actual investor. But to that topic I will go in the next slide. So the question, who can be the possible investors? Starting from your private network, it could be your family and friends. Secondly, it can be business angels from your country and also from other countries. So in general, the private investors that are pretty good in that business that you are trying to do as well. So for example, in Poland, there is a quite common network by the game dev business angels that are really likely want to invest in some projects or companies. Then you can have a venture capital investor, private equity investors. Another way of being like equity founded, it is also like some kind of the new trend that some of the publishers, even in the publishing deals, are want to have some kind of the tiny part of the equity from your company as well. Another way of equity financing is a crowdfunding financing. So in general, this is the process. Then you are selling your shares, of offering your shares in a public way via some kind of a websites or applications. So in Poland, quite well known, it's a Crowd Connect platform where such rounds are happening right now. And lastly, you can also be funded by the government's funds as well. What kind of the resources the investors will provide? This is the really great question to ask, and actually it is also linked with the your vision of the company and your willingness to take the marriage with some of the investors, because it is really important question, because you need to choose from the investors who do you want to work and who you want to have in your shareholder structures. So the main question is how you would like to involve the investors to help you with growing your business, what kind of the resources they can provide to your company. Maybe it could be a great network which they have, maybe it could be the knowledge from their side, and maybe of course it is always good to have the experience in some of the fields that maybe you do not have. Actually, the great question to ask yourself, it's also are they a good fit for your brand and for your startup culture? What's their vision to the growth of your company, and does it align with your vision? So this is the really tough questions when you are thinking about this kind of the founding of your company, that needs to be asked to you and your team as well. Now I will tell a few words about the advantages of the equity financing. First of the advantages, comparing to the normal way of doing the business, there is freedom from debt. So you are not taking the loan from the banks. You are not you are not obligated to pay the monthly loan rates. So this is like what is giving you a freedom to growing your business, just focusing on the business side from your company, focusing on your game development aspect, not to going so much deep into financial aspects and to the bank aspects of the agreements and so on. You can drain more capital than normally you can take from the bank. So this is the second, let's say, advantage that I will really tell here. Business experience, skills, and contacts that the investors can bring into your company. And the last one, but not least, but it's really important, just to have the possibility to make additional follow-on funding rounds. So if you will need additional money for development, there is always a opportunity to make additional round for that. When you should use equity finance. So you can use it when you are on the early stage company without any financial track record that actually in general are needed to the bank loan. Second option is that if you want to acquire another business and you need a lot of money for that. And the third option when you should consider that kind of the financing method, it's to have in mind that maybe in the future when your business will grow on such a level that you are expecting right now, you have a possibility to sell the business or sell the part of your business. So right now, I'm giving a microphone for Albert, who will share with you the success story of Drago Entertainment, which took place in Poland. So thank you for having me, and see you on the Q&A session. Goodbye.
Hello, everyone. I'm Albert Trąbczyński from INC, the Polish investment firm, and I'm very pleased to join you during the Dev.Play conference. I would like to share some thoughts, some our ideas regarding the financing through the equity right. As we are specializing in the stock market, stock exchange, that would be all put in the context of making the company going public and through that way increase its finance. If I may, I will just share some screen with a presentation. Okay, I think everything should work. And just a few words about the agenda. So I'd like to start with the question, why to raise finance via capital markets? So why does it have some advantages? Why is it convenience for the company, for its management board? Then I'll share with you some story about the INC, our track records, our portfolio of projects, mainly in the sector of gaming, and then some success stories of our clients from our experience. So why is it worth to raise capital via capital markets? So first of all, it provides some independence due to dispersion of investors. So unlike the investments from private equity funds or venture capital funds, there is no investment agreement that will put some limitations, but the management board would mainly restrict its freedom. The investors mostly are individual ones, so there's a little impact on the daily operations of the company. Of course, we need to take care of them, but but it's, I think, much more convenient than in case of PE or VC funds. It is also available for companies that are at the very early stage, even for the startups. So actually, you can be a company without any project in a portfolio, just some compelling idea, and you can go to the investors. And if you are attractive, your good valuation, it is quite easy, mainly in a very good sentiment market like we observing right now, to raise capital through the share offering. What's more, it's non-refundable, so it means that investors cannot expect that they will get some fund returns. It's their own risk to put the money in the given project, and enables introducing some incentive programs. So any SIP programs, you can easily, when your shares are floated, you can easily introduce some motivation programs which are closely related to the share price. So the performance of the management will be directly reflected into share price. And what's more, it allows to get the market valuation of the company. So if you are going well, you get some successful projects, successful games releases, then it will be reflected on the share price in the market, and in the same time, it will affect the network of shareholders. And what is the main cost on the other side? Well, investors expect liquidity. So when you're raising capital through the share offering, you need to make sure that eventually you will go public. So we will be listed on the stock exchange. So the shareholders will get some opportunity to close their investment, to cash out. And the other cost is the remuneration for an investment firm, which will carry out the whole process, although it will be paid only after the offer is closed as a form of success fee, around 4 or 5% of the value of the offer. There are also some requirements regarding the firms that are, well, applying for listing on the stock exchange. Those on this slide are from the Polish legal framework, although in the Romanian case, it's very similar. So the company must have secured financing for operations for at least, well, next year since debut on the market. The equity of the company must amount to at least 5 million zloty, half of a million zlotys. But generally, after the share offering, it's quite natural that the company equity is at least 2 or 3 million zlotys, or in the case of Romania, leis. A free float, which is the share of the Polish shareholders that is at least 15% of the whole capital structure. And then the company must disclose some information regarding its, well, distribution agreement of the game, some game budget and schedule of milestones. And the last thing, the company needs to have a financial report for the last tax year, which is examined by the certified auditor. But, well, to be honest, those requirements are not very hard to meet. Actually, in the case of most companies, there are no any additional adjustments, let's say, for those requirements. A few words about INC, so our investment firm. We specialized mostly in transactions for young companies at the early stage, often financing their first production in the case of game development studios. Well, we handled the transactions in a very comprehensive manner. So we started with some preparations from, I don't know, changing the legal form of the company. Then we are going to the offer, which we can, well, conduct in few different ways. And then finally, we can assist the company during the process of introducing shares to the public, to the stock exchange. Well, as of our track record within Capital Group, we carry out almost 21 actually share offerings with a total value of over 50 million zlotys, so it's about 5 million leis, 12 million euros. At the right hand side, you can see the table which detailing listing the individual offers. So those are only from the gaming industry from last 24 months. So 20 projects with total value of almost 54 million zlotys. We are also the owner of the Crowd Connect platform, the leader of Polish crowd investing, crowdfunding market. In case of game developers, they get very wide, let's say, base of players, which might be convertible to investors. So it's very effective, especially in case of gaming industry. From that table on the right hand side, I think 10 of those offers went through the Crowd Connect platform. And within our group, we also have our own investment fund, which is concentrated mostly in the pre-IPO investments. We are also present in the Romanian markets. You might know the Carpathia Capital, which is listed on the IR markets. We got very successful investment in a company called Bitnet, which was originally listed on the IR market, so the alternative platform of the Romanian stock exchange, and then go to the main market. One of the success stories is the Drago Entertainment. The company that came to us around the beginning of 2020. Well, it was on the very early stage. They got ideas for two new games, the gas station simulator and the winter survival simulator. They needed around 2 million Polish zlotys to complete those games. But well, from the legal point of view, they weren't prepared well for that. So we start from the transformation into a joint stock company. Before it was only the limited company. Then after finishing that process, we started the offering. That was in the September last year. During the crowdfunding offer, we raised capital of the value of 2 million zlotys with a valuation of 32 million. So the company was valued at the moment of offer at the level of over 30 million zlotys. And it was a very big success. And the offer closed in just one day. So as we see the demand exceeding the supply, we proposed to the existing shareholders that they can carry out some additional offer of sales of shares. So that was in the one or two months later, we make that additional offer value around 3 million zlotys, and that was the opportunity for the existing shareholders to cash out at this stage. Then we started the whole procedure to introduce company to the public, and eventually at April this year, we carry out the debut on the New Connect market, which is the alternative platform of the Warsaw Stock Exchange. And then the company during its listing rose quite steadily through next couple of months. And then at the September of 2021, so actually last month, they got their first premiere, the gas station simulator, that was financed through the offering process. The game, well, it was big success. It sold over 250,000 units, and the share price skyrocketed. almost 300% from that day. And it's still on a very elevated level, although company has a very bright future ahead of it, because there are still two games in the pipeline, like Winter Survival Simulator and Red Forest. So that is the let's say role model for cooperation for the company that are going to make offer via the share issuance. But we get many other similar projects. That's the only one. At the right-hand side, you can see the table with almost, well, it's 10 projects that we introduced to the public in the last 24 months. In the fourth column, you can see the rate of return on the first day of listing. And well, the average is almost 29%. So everyone was happy. The company raised finance to realize its ambitious projects, and the investors can cash out on the first day of the listing on the stock market with a very decent rate of return. And at the end of the presentation, just a few slides regarding the some selected games of our issuers. So one of the most acclaimed is Medieval Dynasty by company RenderKit. Medieval Dynasty is quite interesting, mix of genres, combining the elements of strategy, elements of survival, some kind of role-playing game, and well, it's actually the medieval ages simulator. The company in the process was only developer. The publisher was from abroad, quite a substantial range as regards of international markets. The game debuted or was released in September last year. It was in the form of early access, and since then the number of copies sold only on PC exceeds over 700,000 units. The number of reviews on Steam is also impressive, almost over 20,000, and the acclaim from the players is also substantial, almost 91% of positive reviews on Steam, as well as the professional critics. The rating on the Metacritic is around 75% right now. The next game, a gas station simulator from the Drug Entertainment, that I was well, in detail describing a few slides ago. The company was almost a developer. The date release was September this year. Number of copies sold on PC was over 200,000, and number of reviews over 5,000. It was also very positively reviewed. And one more, Tales of Iron from United Label. In this case, the company that we are assisted in the whole process of raising capital was the publisher. Well, actually, the United Label is the company which is some kind of holding of some independent studios, and the United Label plays the role of publisher. And it was, again, very positively reviewed on Steam, over 91%. I'm sorry, I'll get one more game, Succubus from Madmine Studio. The premiere was last month, and the copies sold for now is 37,000. The game, well, is a little bit controversial. It's only for adult players. It's some kind of slasher in hell. And I think that's from my side. Thank you very much for listening to the presentation, and I wish you a very, very interesting Dev.Play conference. Thank you.
Hello, and we are now live with Dariusz from Milgames. Hello, Dariusz. Good to see you.
Hello, how are you?
Dariusz, a couple of questions for you. So, when you look to invest in a studio for the long run, not project-based, what are the main team characteristics you look at?
In general, we are looking at the experience actually in the industry, because maybe not the main focus is not maybe on the projects, but it's on the people actually that know what to do and know how to scale up this company. So this is the main aspect, and also the second aspect is, of course, just to having some good idea when it comes to the monetization of their project. So those are the main, let's say, two topics. Yeah.
Somewhat related to this, even though you don't fund projects, you fund companies, but you do look at their games to see what they have released and what they're about to launch. What do the games need to have to draw your attention to the studio?
Actually, yeah, some good sales results. It will be the most obvious, let's say, aspect. But maybe not always, because there are, of course, some of the projects, some of the games that are good but not selling so well. So if the quality of the game it's already good and have a potential, it will be also a plus for us, and give us a some kind of knowledge that, okay, if the first game was developed, and also, of course, to finish the right project. So it is also like important thing. So like the quality and the experience in finishing the project itself.
Thanks. And the final question. I think so. You guys talked a lot about the stock exchange as a financing option. So it's worth mentioning. I think Poland is still number one in the world in terms of games companies listed, right? How many companies are
It's
public?
already over the 60 of them. So actually, last year, where I have a prelection about the capital market in Poland and so on, we have been on the second place, like after the Japan. But during this year, we grow up so much that we are the first when it comes to the number of the game companies listed. So I think that till the end of this year, or the first quarter of the next year, it will be listed on the Warsaw Stock Exchange over the 70 game dev companies. Yeah?
That's very impressive, and really Poland is a very solid example of how to develop the video games industry. Dariusz, thanks a lot for your support. Good luck with finding great developers and companies, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you very much, Katarina. Thank you for having me here, and goodbye.
Bye.